Hey, this is a quick video about changing the transmission fluid on a first generation Chevy Colorado. Mine specifically is a 2007, which means it's going to use Dextron 6. I know prior year Colorados still use Dextron 3. I think everything from 2007 on uses 6. You're going to want to obviously Google the specs for your particular vehicle before buying one type of transmission fluid or the other. But for starters, I've got the truck up on ramps. I got my tools laid out, my catch can, paper towels. Anybody who's done this job before knows how messy it is. Here's the transmission pan itself underneath the vehicle. There's two obstacles in the way. I've done this on this truck before, and I was able to do it without having to remove the front four-wheel drive shaft. I know on some forums people say if you take that out that's a lot easier, or that it can free up some space. The one thing I did when I did this probably last time 70 or 80,000 miles ago, the linkage here, I did have to, actually if I remember correctly, it's just this piece back here that once you move this, and I didn't even have to disconnect it, I just bent it slightly out of the way with a pair of pliers over that way. I was able to get the pan out. It's 16 bolts. Advance and AutoZone list a whole bunch of different type of pan gaskets, as does I looked briefly on Rock Auto. I tried to look online. Let me crawl out from under here. This is the pan gasket and filter kit that I purchased. It's a Ray Bestos. Part number is 99707. I already held it up. It does appear to be the correct one. It's a little bit different packaging than I'm used to, a different brand, but it was what they had in stock. Obviously, if you get something online or your local parts store may vary. Stop this now and I'll restart it again in a little bit. One thing I forgot to mention when I was under here a minute ago was the other thing you're going to have to remove, and that's this heat shield along the side of the transmission up here. It's obscuring, or it's in the way of, if the drive shaft wasn't in the way, you could get to them, and I don't know how well this is going to show up. Let's see. The bolts on the passenger side. There we go. I turn the flashlight on. You can see them up there, all the bolts along the passenger side, which are obscured by the drive shaft. There we go. If you take that heat shield off, you can get to them from the side with a regular wrench, or I think I can probably even get to them with a swivel extension. Like I said, it's been a few years since I've done this. Quite a lot of miles. I think the recommended service interval is 50,000 miles, and I've gone quite a bit over that. But typically how I do mine is whenever I change my oil, I drop a siphon pump down the dipstick tube and siphon out a gallon and put in a fresh gallon, so at least it's not like it's completely old fluid. I know some people might kind of laugh at that, but it seemed like a good idea to me at the time, and I've always done it. It's kept me going all these years. Here she is starting to drip. I've only gotten a couple of the bolts out so far. One thing that always drove me nuts is why in the world General Motors not put a drain bolt in the bottom of these pans. What, some penny pincher decided it saved them 15 cents somewhere down the manufacturing line? You know, they know people are going to change this stuff. They know it's disgusting and messy. You know, putting a drain pan bolt, it just seems like an obvious thing, but I know there's some aftermarket conversion kits, and I probably could have siphoned some of this out through the top as well, but I'm just going to let it start to drip. Hopefully not get any in my eye. Anybody who's done that before knows how unfun that is. Alright, so here's the pan, all nice and taken out and cleaned out, wiped out. It was surprisingly not as dirty as it could have been. Still dripping a little under there. I gotta remove the filter still, which you should be able to see right up there. If you look on any of the forums on 355 Nation or Colorado Fans website, you'll see that there is a rubber, or there's an O-ring gasket that goes around the shaft that holds that filter into the transmission. The last time I changed this, I was unable to get it out. There's a lot of other people on those forums as well who've also never been able to get it out. I guess it's just one of those kind of replace it if it's broken type deals. What you can't see in this video is how super disgusting and messy this is. Most of the paper towels I threw up in the bed of the truck now, but it was dripping quite a lot. You know how it does. Very few things in this world I hate as much as transmission fluid soaked in my ponytail. But you can see there's the old filter, and like I said, it's not a bad job. It's just disgusting when you're laying on your back and this thing is dripping on you and you can't really get anywhere, especially when the wind likes to blow it in your eyes. At least it's not raining. Usually it's raining when I make these videos. But now I just have to pull the old filter out, put the new one in, put it all back together. Hopefully be done soon. Here's just one more quick video of underneath before I put it all back together again. You can see right up here, trying to do this with one hand, where the filter presses in. It's not bolted or anything, it's just held in by that gasket. So, like I said on the forums, there was a lot of people saying they were never able to get that gasket out. Mine looks like it's still in okay shape, so I don't want to mess it up by trying to take it out. People have tried seal pullers and all kinds of other things. It doesn't seem to come out, so I'm going to let it lay. Just holds the filter tight. That's what's important. I noticed while doing my inspection that this piece of plastic right here is cracked. It just appears to hold that wire loom up. So once the pan is on, I don't really think that can go anywhere, so I'm not super concerned about that. But obviously 174,000 miles, things start to break. So otherwise it looks too good. Not a whole lot of metal shavings in the pan, like I mentioned. Hopefully I won't have any problems putting it back together. Just to show you where that filter goes one more time. And oh, by the way, these are all 13mm bolts, including the ones on the side. So really, you don't need a lot of tools other than 13mm wrench and a 13mm socket and some extensions. And you know what would have been helpful here was one of those I don't know what you call them, like the swivel wrenches, the wrenches that rotate around. I'm not describing that very well. Hopefully you know what I mean. But all in all, it wasn't bad. It's just disgusting and messy. So I don't have a lot of time today. I gotta put this thing back together and get it back on the road and make sure it runs okay. So I'll show you. Let's see. There's the new filter again in the package, and there's the little gasket that I mentioned that I'm not gonna try to change because it's next to impossible to get the old one out. Maybe a dealership might have a better way, might have a better idea how to do it, but you know, they'd probably just tell you they did it and not actually do it, because that's how those guys are. So let me get this thing put back together and make sure she runs okay. And here's just a quick shot of everything put back together. Shield back on the side of the transmission, everything torqued and tightened down. Once I'm able to back the car out, I'm going to sprinkle some kitty litter and, you know, clean up this street a little bit. I hate, it's not a hard job, it's just a messy job. I hate how messy it is. But other than that, it's not hard. Wish I'd been able to fix that plastic clip inside of there, but I don't know where you get one of those. Like maybe the junkyard, maybe the dealer. But it should be okay with the pan on. It's not like it's going to get any more loose or fall down. So, like I said, that's it. Not a hard job, just messy. And I hope this video was helpful to you. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Thank you. Have a good day.